Podcast, and it's part 2 of our 2025-26 Girls on Tour series, where we get to look back on all the stops on the Takeover Tour. So last time we went through the first 4 stops, and today we're going to go and talk about stops 5 through 8, which were the 2 double-header days in the Takeover Tour. So January the 3rd, which saw us have Hamilton, then Detroit. On January 11, we then had Halifax, and then Quebec. These double-header days really, as you will see in the episode, really tripped me up. So I had to literally confirm with my trio members, per lady, was this the correct stop number, or was it that one? Because obviously the one earlier in the day, where obviously had to be got the earliest stop number. Yeah. Plus, alright, we also had some other games going on across the league, like the Hamilton and Detroit day. That was a really busy day, because obviously we had a game first, and then we had to then do Hamilton delay, and then had to get that finished before Detroit started. It was madness. It was mental. So hopefully on next year's tour, we will not have so many double-header days, because it just literally throw everything out of the kill. But yeah, so you will see a little some hesitations from me throughout the episode, because I just need to double check, is that the correct stop for that particular city? That's the correct number. It's all good. It's all fine. It's all fine. So this feels a bit of a weird episode, isn't it? Because obviously, the 4 games we're covering were basically done in like blocks of 2, because 2 don't happen on the same day. Anyway, so let's get straight to it, shall we? So if you want to just quickly go and get some drinks, please do, and then we're gonna get going with our thoughts on the second part of the 2025-26. Hamilton, and this was the first Takeover Tour stop for the calendar year. It's January the 3rd. I have got right. This is stop 5. Yes, because there was a second one also kind of days. Like, no, this Hamilton's happened first for Detroit. Thank you, lady. We're gonna have that again coming up with the January 11 one, because on January 11 there were also 2 Takeover as well, so we might get the car as well. Yeah, so Hamilton. It's kind of crazy, to think back on this, because obviously, back when the Takeover Tour game happened in January, I'm not sure how many people really saw Hamilton as a contender for expansion. And yet here we are now, in the summer months, we're in the off-season, and we're only like a few months away from Hamilton actually having a team. It's incredible. I mean, that arena had just very recently been redeveloped. I think we were probably one of the first hockey games to ever play in the redeveloped T Coliseum. We know the AHL is going there next year. The New York Islanders affiliates left Bridgeport for Hamilton. Shit name, shit branding, but we will not talk about because it's not that sort of show. You're lucky, but yeah. In fact, when that news was confirmed, we didn't have to talk about how, does that now dampen Hamilton? Yeah, because the news about the AHL officially moved Hamilton was dropped. I kid you not. When we were in the airport, coming back from our trip to Minneapolis, coming back to the UK, and we basically, during our last meal before the flight, we were talking about how, well, does that now dampen Hamilton's chance of the PWHL team, because you've got because the AHL's moving in first, and given how Hamilton's a brand new market, I want to see how well the AHL does before you think about putting the PWHL there. So it was all kind of a bit like, will it not? But I'm really pleased that Hamilton has found a way to get both the AHL and the PHL in there. So really, 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 really good. We'll have that debate about who gets to be probably tenant and all that some time. But yeah, so and if you go back and watch listen to the Takeover Tour recap episode I did for Hamilton, you will know that I was really, really, really impressed with them. I was literally blown away. Oh no! I was satisfied. No! I was really satisfied with what. I've got loads of them! I've got loads of them! Oh, if only Sarisa was here, we would be playing the jukebox right now. I was really satisfied with how Hamilton did hosting the game, and I was just, it just made me wondering, when are we going to be back? Ah! Well, Hamilton clearly wants to be the real way it happens. He's also got on board. Put that there. Put that there. He's also got on board. I told you I've got loads of them. Plus, Hamilton is in my top 5 of all-time musicals. So I'm just saying. Just say. Maybe it's probably best to lie down. Just say it. Oh God. Just say. Yeah. So it was Scepters at. No, it wasn't. It was Torrent. It was Torrent. It was the Torrent at Scepters. But what I say for the Scepters, this is probably the closest Takeover Tour game they had to home. Yeah. Okay. You could tell there was a lot of Scepters fans in that building. And I don't see the problem with putting a team in Hamilton. I do not see that having an impact on Scepters fans. Because I think for some people, it might be hard to get from Hamilton to TO. So with those Scepters fans that are in Hamilton, you now have the opportunity to see your team actually in your actual city. You can still support Scepters if you want to, as well as having this new team in town, okay? Yeah, I mean, look at George. He's got a T-Coach as Alizé, but he's still staying a Frost supporter. Yeah. I just can't read Alizé when they play the Frost. Yeah. So that's what you can do. If you are a Scepters fan living in Hamilton, okay, you can still support this new Hamilton team. It's just whenever they play Scepters, don't support them then. It's fine. It's all good. It's all good. So TO fans, I'm sorry. I don't see your problem. I don't see the problem here, guys. So back your baskets. Go back in your baskets. I don't see what the problem is. I really don't. And what a crowd. What a crowd we had on January the 3rd. 16,012 came out for this game. I really loved that arena. I mean, when we were watching it, obviously on YouTube, I was like thinking, wow, this feels like a really state-of-the-art facility. You know, it just looks too big for the AHL. Yeah. But then again, we don't know how well the Hammers are going to be supported when the season gets underway in October. Yeah. We don't know that. So, I'm saying right now it's probably too big right after the AHL right now, but who knows, I could be proven wrong and say October, November, we've had like 5-6 weeks of the regular season done with the AHL. But it kind of felt like a state-of-the-art facility. You could put a pro team in there literally tomorrow, and it would just fly. Yeah. So I think you two really want to do Hamilton. Yeah. I mean, we just built that chorus scheme that Peter Hamilton's got is so impressive. And I think we do feel that Hamilton is actually going to thrive. So Scepters fans really don't come cry to us. Don't go cry at us. We're not on your side. We think Hamilton will work. Plus, you've been neighbours with the Charter for 3 years. Yep. You're not mine there. Yep. Yeah. Well, clearly we don't. Clearly, as we know, geography's not my forte. But clearly, Hamilton's is more closer to T than always. So, anyways. So it was Torrent 3, Scepters 2. The shootout there, first row win. First row win, but not true road win. As the video you're about to put up now. The DoorDash Takeover Tour saw the first hockey game played at the newly renovated T Coliseum in Hamilton. A crowd of 16,012 watched a back and forth game go to a shootout where Seattle emerged victorious over TO. Plus, was it really back and forth? No. In terms of the lead changing hands, yes. But in terms of the actual flow of the game, not really. Now, I think what was interesting is how both teams had huge momentum swings, particularly in terms of their goals. So obviously, Seattle got the first goal, and that was a huge for them. you know, because they haven't really done that well on the road. I think the only time they got points on the road before that was probably against their first ever game, which was in Vancouver. That was an OT loss, although it's very neat because it's been a regulation win, but we worked well on that for Seattle, because that would not change anything. And then when Natalie Spiro got her goal to tie it in second, you know, the Rangers went and then I felt like Toronto, were more controlled in the third period, but honestly, Alex Carpenter's goal. That was a huge backbreaker for Tia, because I think you're right, they were playing up to that point, they kind of were playing really well, and then Alex Carpenter, with a 50 career point, she gets the game time goal, and what a beauty! Also put assist with Henry Knight as well. Yeah, it was a thing of beauty. It was a thing of beauty. Yeah. And then after that, you just kind of felt, yeah. So I kind of felt both teams had their fair amount of chances, and both teams had every opportunity to win it in regulation and get the full 3 points, which would have helped Toronto more than it would have done Seattle. But Reagan Kirk was outstanding. Oh yeah, I kind of felt if Toronto had won this game, that I think Reagan Kirk would have to been the first star, because she gave them every opportunity to win the game. Yeah. I mean, she made some incredible saves in that game, and I just kind of felt, wow, she really, if she got a standout season, she could be up there with the likes of Franco, Desbian, Rooney. Really good. And Phillips as well. Yes. We must not forget that. Yeah, we don't want all of us to come for me. There's somebody standing there like this. Leave off. And also Osborne died Hamilton. I was wondering if I was going to make that little dig, but yeah. But at least next season it'll be justified why she gets the box of live share, because it's a brand new team. Whereas New York was like, oh, God's sake. God's sake. But yeah, but I just kind of felt maybe Schroeder was the better netminder in the show. Oh yeah. I would go. Yeah, I would go to the box. Obviously, Seattle managed to handle that shootout a lot better than Tio did. And of course, Tio's been involved in more shootouts than Seattle has, but that's because Seattle obviously was an expansion team at the time. But yeah, this was like an incredible game to watch. And for a market that a lot of people, and I will admit I'm one of them, for a market that a lot of people have not heard of before, what a way to get acquainted with that city. Oh yeah. What a way. You literally bring two thrilling teams, put them against one another, and they just literally give you a thrilling game. It's like, it was just incredible to watch. It was just, from start to finish, it was just incredible to watch. And I think it was one of those games where you just think, yeah, it's only fitting that this game goes. As much as we don't like games go to shootouts, you have to look at this one thing. It's only fitting that this game ends in a shootout, because both teams just played exceptionally well in this game. Dare I say, Seattle's showing what the kind of team you could be if you were able to sort out your team problems. Yeah. And then contrast to, which of course we're going on to it next, but then later on in the day, Vancouver also comes in and shows this is what the kind of team they should be, but it's not working. Yeah. Isn't it crazy how both the expansion teams on the exact same day, even though they weren't true road wins as said many times, the fact that they both got their first ever road win, I think you better explain what you mean. Yeah. Obviously, the Takeover Tour games, one team has to be count to the home team, one team has to be count to the road team, but it's not in that team's respective primary bar. Yeah. It was Kirk Crossy that would count. So when I say true road win, I mean you win a game in your opponent's primary venue. So, for example, for the sectors, that is Kirk Crossy. That's what I mean by a true road win. Yeah, same goes for a true home win as well. Yeah. But of course, both Bangkok and Seattle already got those well at the start of the season because they both did very well at the beginning of the season on home ice compared to being on the road. Like the match, probably. Faced and wins and whined and moaned about. Yeah, just seriously, get off with that. We have a lot of trouble to deal with, but do you see us moan about it? No! No! Remember, we were the only West Coast team for the first 2 seasons. Did do us any harm? Nah. Nope, 2 bottle cop in the bag for you in the wrong t-shirt, George. I know, but I didn't want to rub in the faces. Nah, greater than victory. That's what you are, George. Not like you. Not like you. When are we going to let 2012 go? We're not. We're not. We're not. We are not. Honestly, the King's Burst Cup. Wait, we're going there. The King's Burst Cup was more horrible to watch than the second one because the first King's Burst Cup, when they won, Pluto screamed the house down! And we're like, what? And me and the rest of the pack were like, what is going on? And then one of them said, the LA Kings have just won the Stanley Cup. And I'm like, oh, God. And we never heard the end of it until the puck dropped on the 20, until the 2012-13 basically got away. Because obviously, little did we know at the time that the 2012-13 season would go into a lockout. Yeah. So it wasn't until January 2013 that you two could begin your cup defense. Yeah. But I don't think. Do you think we weren't as bad as 2014? Well, I think you didn't celebrate us hard in 2014 and 2012. But you could argue 2014 we didn't think we were going to do it. No, because you should have beaten us. I know! I was the team that had to watch you raise the fucking banner! I know I should have beat you that year. So should have Ducky! Yeah, so should have Ducky. Really, in 2014, we were only going in the final against the Rangers, because let's face it, you should have beaten us, George. Ducky should have beaten us in the second round, and then Tommy should have whooped our backsides in the third round. So, I think the probably reason why me did not celebrate as high as 2014 was because I think we were all a bit shocked that we actually did win the cup. Yeah, and then obviously we had a very difficult season the following year. As did I. Yeah, as did I. Yeah, we both did. Yeah. It was tough. Yeah, but honestly, I feel like, just incredible. So, Hamilton literally just delivered the goods. And also, what point to bring out is, obviously, and this to me, I think showed how much of an impression Hamilton wanted to make on the PWHL. The fact that they actually put the Takeover Tour logo on centre ice. Yeah. Now, you could argue that there's no hockey tag in that building right now, but I don't see that as an excuse. We know it's very easy to make on-ice service changes and change them back. We know it's doable. So I don't see that as an excuse. I'd like to see more, in next year's tour, I'd like to see the Takeover Tour logo get put on center ice regardless of who the private head is in that building. Okay? So this to me, and I've been saying for the past 3 seasons now, if your city gets a Takeover Tour game, make the most of it. Make the most of it, because who knows, you might not get another go. Yeah. There's plenty of markets out there we've gone to that haven't got a second go at the cherry. Don't name them! Don't name them, we'll be here all night. Oh, look at you, pass up the opportunity to name and show. Well, because I know we'll be here all night. I'll take away the focus of what we're here to do, okay? So don't, I know you think, don't name them, please don't. But that to me really just made me thought, yeah, I think Hamilton needs to go to the front of the queue. I literally felt that Hamilton, you did so much to show to me that you wanted to make the most of this opportunity. This potentially was a light opportunity. And you went there, you grabbed it by both hands, and you did not. I've got one more for you, boy. Oh, no. Go for it. Hamilton, you did not waste your shot. Could you imagine if, don't you dare, could you imagine if PWHL Hamilton did have some form of narrative inspired by the musical? Well, it might get space by the one that want to join on the party. But could you imagine how they did? Like, literally, they did some references to the musical. Yeah, that could be really hilarious, wouldn't it? Yeah. Well, Detroit can't have Pistons because that's the NBA team, but maybe Hamilton could somehow nick it. Hamilton shots? No, that would just make me think of alcohol, lady. That would really would. Are we seriously workshopping this right now? No, but honestly, I just felt Hamilton. I was just so impressed with the city. For a city I'd never heard of before, I was just so impressed with them. And I'm really excited to see what's going to happen when we get to the start of next season and we see Hamilton. I'm so excited. I'm literally so excited for what's to come ahead with Hamilton in the PWHL. I'm really excited. But in terms of the Takeover Tour game, it was an absolute thriller to watch. It did kind of feel a bit weird, you know, because obviously we've been rewatching all these Takeover Tour games back to just refresh our memories for this episode. It does kind of feel weird watching that one back now, knowing that Hamilton's going to get a team. Now, you could maybe say the exact same thing with Detroit, but with Detroit, it kind of felt more of an inevitability. Yeah. It kind of felt more of an inevitability that Detroit would one day land a team. The question was when, not if. So that's, yes, but honestly, to watch this one back, because I think at the time, no one really had Hamilton hard on the radar. But they came in, they saw, they conquered, and they are now joining this league full time next year, and that is absolutely just amazing. I was so impressed with this game. It really was amazing. So thank you so much, Hamilton. It was a really great game to watch. So Tour 3, Sectors 2 in Hamilton. Stop 6, Detroit. Yeah. Oh, because it's a double header. Yeah. Who went first? It Hamilton or Detroit? Hamilton. Right, this is definitely stop 6. Yeah. Stop 6, Detroit. And it was Golden Eyes at Fleet. Now, this was a real bumper day in the PWHL because you had pretty much, 3 games going on, 2 overlapped, and then obviously this was like the evening fixture. Yeah. It's just an incredible. And also, both expansion teams gets their first ever road win of the season on the same day. Now, of course, yes, not a true road win, but both of them were classed as the road team, so that means obviously both road wins. So yeah, so did you guys see this one coming? Yeah, I thought. No. But oh my god, it was just I feel like I need to lie down after that. I know. It was very much, blink and you miss. That's how I kind of felt when this press came to Detroit. It was like, oh my god. Blink and you miss, Literally, it was blink and you miss. Yeah. So, Golden Eyes 4, Fleet 3. The Takeover Tour is back in Detroit for the 2025-26 season. Vancouver roars back from a 3-1 deficit to complete the comeback, handing Boston just its second regulation loss of the season. Sophie Jakes becomes the first player this season to score while the Fleet are on the penalty kill. Yes, that was Boston's first time giving up a goal. Yeah, short-handed. Yeah. There you go. Boston throughout the season hadn't spent that much time being on the penalty kill now, and that was one of the things you talked about going into playoffs. It was. I think wasn't that your key for the second half of Boston? Yeah, to go more on the penalty kill because you need that practice of what happens when you go to the playoffs and you haven't done it that much. Yeah. Like, it was just incredible. I mean, the way that Boston scored first as they did, kind of trailer this season. And then literally, was Vancouver ties up. You think, okay, we're gonna have a game. We're gonna have a game. Don't get up the snacks, guys. Don't get up the snacks. I mean, we always say, wait till the break in play to go and get something. But you literally were waiting to go and get something. It's like, oh my god, you would have absolutely missed it. It was just crazy. The first period, the third period, I think for me was kind of like mental. It was just like crazy. There was like so much action going on. And I thought the second period things kind of settled down. But you could just kind of tell, even though it was kind of settling down, you could just kind of tell, yeah, there's no way this game is gonna then end quietly. This is gonna. And it kind of felt like at one point, were we gonna have overtime here, guys? Were we gonna get a shootout maybe? You know, because obviously the last time Boston was in Detroit, it was a shootout win for them over Ottawa. That of course was back in the inaugural season, when of course Boston didn't have their names yet. It was like, and the Takeover Tour was just a Takeover weekend. It was like crazy. And Izzy Daniel really stole the show. Oh yeah, she made a name. She definitely made a name for herself, which is really good because Brian could be looking for those secondary scorers, because we really stepped up the plate, and she was absolutely one of them. So I'm really glad to see them manage to somehow find a way to keep hold of it. Yeah, post expansion. Yeah. To make that repair, that's particularly not so bad. Yeah. Yeah, it was just incredible. And I just thought the netminers, did they get enough support for you, lady? Well, if it's been a 4-3 scoreline, I'd say no. But there were times where both netminers and really did have some really good stand moments. It's just I think the support needs to back them up was good. Now, another thing, lady, you pointed out was how you were concerned about the attendance number because we had a drop. I've got it here. We've got So the attendance for this game was only 9,500. Sorry, 9,624. That's a massive drop for Detroit, because Detroit had been getting numbers in the ballpark of say 13,000, 14,000. So that was a massive drop. But you had to start thinking, because up to that point, everyone kind of was looking at Detroit and thinking, this is a guaranteed market for the PWHL. Just look at Detroit and treat that as a lock. It's the only market that's been giving a Takeover Tour game every single season. People looked at that thing, Detroit's a lock. But that dip, I was very, very concerned by that. Because at that point, the American markets just had not been pulling their weight. We had to wait until Denver for American markets to step up to the plate. But we knew Denver was going to step up to the plate anyway. And Denver, their first game, had to battle with an AFL championship game. And yet they still got above the 10,000 mark, despite the Broncos were fighting to go to the Super Bowl. So, Detroit, watch the excuses. And this is why I'm concerned about, putting Peter Detroit in Little Caesars Arena next year. But you've got the Red Wings there, who are probably going to double up with. You've got the NBA team there. Pistons, who of course obviously got my preferred name for Peter Detroit. You're gonna have the WNBA in there by the end of the decade. There's also concert as well. So to throw the PWHL as well, I am really concerned how it's gonna work. I'm gonna hold those regulations, and I'm not gonna stop holding them until I'm proven wrong. Yeah, it was just like what? It just didn't. The fact you had a drop in Detroit, it just didn't feel right, especially when there's so much contention for expansion for, is this the dent? Is that, or is it because, it's become so frequent now to have these Takeover Tour games, it's like, well, do we need to really make the effort anymore? Yeah! I don't care whether it's your, okay, alright, I don't care! I don't care whether it's your first time getting a Takeover Tour game, or it's your 7th time getting a Takeover Tour game. Show out! Every time your city gets to go to a Takeover Tour game, you need to show out. It's your duty to show out there. It's like boating. You must go and do it. Okay? It's your civic duty. It's your right to do that. Okay? Right, so, Yeah, but that was a bit of concern, given how, Denver was literally a hot ticket item. You had the Canadian markets trying to really make a name for themselves. Especially how early in the day, you just had Hamilton really steal the show, because they got, not only did they get 16,000 people, they also got the Takeover Tour logo on centre ice. So I could really see how big of a push Hamilton is trying to make. That's why I'm not surprised that Hamilton landed a team. Because I felt, of all the Takeover Tour stops this year, I felt Hamilton made the best impression, because they went above and beyond to try and really secure this league full time. And they did it. And they did it. Nobody was thinking about Hamilton at the time. Nobody thought about Hamilton until we got towards the latter end of the regular season, when the talks started to be right, who was going to be locking in those spots. But it was a really, but despite that attendance issue, it was a really thrilling game to watch. And I think it just showed the playoff potential that Vancouver had. Yeah, but I think for the first half of the season, Vancouver, you can couch however you want. I think for the first half of the season, the Golden Knights were a contender. Okay, yes, they were struggling to find that groove. They were struggling to get that chemistry, but they were, at the time, they were very mathematically very much in the hunt. I think they were about, 5 points or 7 points back for a playoff spot going in to Below Cortina. So that basically, that would have been just 3 regulation wins plus an OT win, you're right back in the conversation. It was kind of that second half when things really went off the rails for the Golden Knights, especially if they did not make the most of that host that they had coming out of Cortina, which was entwined with our trip to the PWHL in Minneapolis and Denver. It didn't start before it started before we went away, and then it concluded when we got back. Because literally the day after we got back from Minneapolis, it was our turn to go to Vancouver. So we only had 24 hours rest, and straight away we were back in it. But I still think this is a really competitive game. It's just, I feel like, Detroit, yes, don't assume you're lucky, because look at Denver. Yeah, look at Denver. Yeah. Because, you've got to get out there, guys. You really want it so badly, then get out there. Show us you want it. Yeah. Because this was a really exciting, this was exciting. This is a packed house. Yeah. It deserved a packed house. And yet, you had this drop in numbers. That's bad. That's bad. Yeah. When Boston had the 2-goal lead, did you two kind of think, yeah, that's the Fleet gonna shut this down? Because I kind of think, when Boston had the 2-goal lead, I kind of thought, okay, the Fleet are now doing what they've been doing well this season. When they get home a lead, they really cement it, and they basically just shut their opponent down. I had seen early in the season how Vancouver struggled to get shots on Franco, particularly that first meter they had in Boston. Oh, that was disaster. Yeah. I think at one point in that game, the shot count was 26-8 in favour of Boston. But good on Vancouver, being able to pull it off, pull off that comeback and just find a way to get through. I'm not going to tell about how you think about Vancouver being a player punch at the start of the season, George. Okay. I'm not going to count it, because there were signs, it's just, there wasn't consistency. Consistency. It wasn't, they needed to have consistency, like a 2-game or 3-game win streak in any form, whether it be relational or team. It just wasn't there. No, just wasn't there. No. So they were competitive for the first half, and then we all called it, that homestand at Arsenal Cortina, we all called that as a make or break moment for them. And unfortunately, it was break. Or if only we didn't have to fly to Denver during the Ottawa one, because that was a thriller. That was a thriller. Although we did show, I did show them the hearts afterwards. Yeah, for every game that was also going on while we were in the States, I did show these two the hearts bit immediately afterwards. Yeah. And that Ottawa Vancouver one, that was like, yeah, they're thinking, we just might to hold on. Actually, we would have gotten 3 points there at 1 point, and then that might have changed things a bit. Probably would have changed things for Vancouver, but for Tio, that might have changed everything. Yeah. And they might have gone into their ball work. Yeah. Might have changed everything, but yeah. But I felt this is a really good character win for the Gold Eyes. You know, especially how early in the day Seattle had got their first road win in Hamilton. So now the monkey was permanently on Vancouver's backs. Yeah. So it was crazy. It's like just wow. Yeah, but as Peter pointed out, it wasn't a true road win. Now, neither expansion team got their first true road win until very, very, very late in the season. I can't remember why it was that happened for both of them, but it was very late in the regular season, and by that point, the damage was done. It was just too little, too late. You just start thinking about these teams, right? Who's going to get the goal plan? Yeah. Yeah. So if you're new to PWHL and next year hear us talking about true road, true home wins, what we mean by that is referring to where a team has won a game in somebody's primary venue. Even though Takeover Tour still is classed as a home team, so it's classed as a road team, but technically it wasn't a true road win for the Gold Eyes. And for Boston, that meant they didn't suffer their first home loss until St. Patrick's Day. Yep. Because before that, Boston only lost twice on home, and that was technically Takeover Tour games. So in Hamilton, in Halifax, and Detroit. Yeah, but Halifax will come back to that one. In fact, that might be next. I need to double check with that with Quebec. Yeah. So that all happened the exact same day. Yeah. But yeah. Up and but yeah, but I thought it was a really compelling game. It was like, this is definitely like, okay, you did not want to miss a single one here, especially how we had 2 games when we watched. You kind of need to make sure this was an energetic game to try and keep yourself away, but it was a brilliant one. It was a brilliant one. It was a brilliant one. Score nice for Fleet 3. Did this happen before Quebec? Yes, right. Oh, God. The double headers have literally killed me. Because I'm trying to think, is this actually... Stop. Oh, but anyway, it's fine. Stop 7. Back to Halifax. This time it was our Charge and the Boston Fleet who would go head to head. So another intense East Coast rivalry for Halifax. This took place on January 11th, so the same day as the one in Quebec, which we'll talk about next. So it was Charge at Fleet, and another shootout, and another 2-1 shootout victory for the visiting team. Coincidence? I think not. So Charge 2, Fleet 1, shootout. Just as in the first matchup in Halifax, the Takeover Tour showdown between Boston and Ottawa needs a shootout to decide the winner. The Chargers win streak reaches 6 as Sony Ahola earns her first PHL win. And interestingly, because the Chargers were playing like 3 games this span of a week, they chose not to put Griffiths on the bench at all, which I think was kind of a smart move. At the time, I really did think that was a smart move, and it was just an incredible all-round performance. Because Boston took control early, because Japan got that opening goal. Yeah, it was very early, but Boston didn't really then pile the prep on afterwards. Yeah. Now, do we dare say they took their foot off the gas? I dare say they took their foot off the gas. They didn't really then afterwards show like any more, tough to their metal. They didn't really try much to add on an extra insurance marker. So I kind of felt, well, with Brianna score, she just knew it was going to happen. Don't go on. Just say it. Every time she scores, they win. Do we reckon that mentality is going to transfer over to her new club? Do you reckon that's going to happen? We'll see. Anyway. I just felt, so both star power for these 2 teams, so Japan for Fleet and then German for Charge, both get the goals in regulation, so not scoring depth that we saw in the first Halifax matchup. But 2 huge goals, I think, and I just felt momentum swing in that game. So when Tapati scored, I felt Boston had the momentum all their way, and then when Jed got the equaliser, I felt the momentum then swung back to the Charge in their favour. I just felt the swings of momentum in the moment there, and I just felt it was huge moment. So you were going to need to rely on that net mining. Even if it wasn't the net, I still think this would have gone the way it did. And just I felt great way for Ottawa to just not let themselves get rattled. There we go. Not let themselves get rattled when Boston got an early lead. They stuck with it, got grinded down, and again caused problems with Boston like they have been doing all regular season and all playoffs. Yeah, because literally, I kid you not, in every single regular season game this year between these two sides, we needed extra hockey. We needed a burst session. Whether it's OT or a shootout, we needed extra hockey. So it's quite bizarre that in the playoff match between these two sides this year, it was only the deciding game 4, that went to OT. Yeah, crazy. But anyway, so I just feel like this is I feel like we're seeing the makings of a really good rivalry. I think we are seeing the makings of a really intense rivalry between these two sides. I'm going to see how that develops next year. That would be very interesting to watch. But I just feel like, because you could not write it, the fact that all 4 matchups this year went beyond regulation. Even this one on the Takeover Tour, crazy, absolutely crazy. These two teams just love playing Buzz. Well, it was kind of the same script last year when it was Boston against Montreal. It was kind of the same script we saw last year when it was against Montreal, and this year it's against Ottawa. So, what do you reckon? Hamilton? Oh god, can you imagine that? Chris Sparty, oh not again. This lot were no good in our overtime last year. We barely won, especially against Ottawa. But I kind of felt that Halifax, improved in terms of hospitality compared to what we saw on the first go. I know there's some things that you two want to put as well. Oh yeah. Right, I'm going to put. Okay. So then you want to talk about the attendance increase. Yeah, because in this game, they got 10,452, which is a very tiny increase to their first outing, but of course, that would only seat 10,000 people. So you can see the passion's there, the intrigue is there, but it's too remote. Agree. I just feel Halifax is too. You didn't even know it was a separate time zone. That's how embarrassing this is. You didn't even know that there is a separate time zone. I just thought it was on the East Coast. I had no idea there's a time zone called Atlantic Time. Never knew. That's how far remote Halifax is. Yeah, I just can't see right now a Halifax getting a team. I mean, the passion's there. They've got the facility, but the other logistics just think, no. Yeah, just right now, just no. Yeah, no. Agreed. It's just too remote. You need to buy other leagues that could put teams in. That would work. Not ours. Because it's too far remote. Too far. I agree. The logistics just would not work, especially because we know that the league does not have its own jets. It flies business or economy. It's not got their own jets like other pro leagues. Yeah, so just no, not right now. Not right now. No, not right now. No. But yeah, I was pretty pleased with the call on both games. And I just want to talk about discipline. There's at least 8 that I can recall. Might have been more, but there was at least 8 power play opportunities in this game. At least 8. Where the hell was the discipline in this game? Well, discipline through the Ottawa hasn't really been. We'll talk more about it on the report card later in the calendar year. Discipline for Ottawa was not really a strong footing this year. That the Charge were one of the most heavily penalised teams in the PHL this season. but Boston as well, to also take that many penalties. That's not a good look. That is really not a good look. That's not a good look. But and the fact again the power play opportunities weren't being taken, that could have changed everything. We're talking about tiny margins that could have changed the course of the game. You look at the power play, you think, right, there's 8 on the card there. How are you not making the most of these opportunities? Or even to go for a jailbreak opportunity. How are you not making the most of these opportunities? When they're literally, I kid you not, when they're literally staring at you in the face. How are you not making the most of these opportunities to get one on special teams and really put the pressure on your opponent? But Halifax got treated to 2 outstanding games. And if these are the only 2 games we were seeing Halifax, then you got treated to 2 absolute, firecrackers. You really got your money's worth. You really got to see 4 amazing teams. And just, treated to brilliant games. Like, just incredible hockey to watch, as it always is. But both to go to a shootout, that is just insane, guys. That is literally insane. That's literally insane. Like, but honestly, wow, incredible game. Incredible game. I think it's really impressive that Halifax managed to get a tiny, even though it's a title, I think it's incredible that they managed to get an increase. Like I said, it can only hold 10,000 people in terms of seats. Yeah, to get a tiny increase, that is actually quite brilliant. That's quite brilliant, actually. But I think, nah, not gonna work the team. Nope. No. It's too far out. Yeah, too far out. Too far out. Absolutely agree. It's too far. Yeah. But honestly, this game was just like, I could not, unlike you, boy, I could not believe the amount of power plays, opportunities that there were in this game, and neither side could really make the most of it. Like, neither side could make the most of their opportunity on the player advantage to really, and given how it felt that neither side, once it was deadlocked, neither side was really budging, you could just tell that, okay, just get ready for OT now, because we know what's coming with these 2 sides based on this season. And were we surprised it went beyond regulation? No. Were we surprised? Of course we fucking weren't. It was obvious. It was painstakingly obvious. I bet it must be so frustrating for these fan bases this year to pass that every single time they see me. Because even how important points are on the line. If you're Boston. Because if one of Boston's losses against Ottawa had been tied with a win, that would have changed everything. Yeah, but honestly, just wow. Just incredible to watch. You can see how tightly for this game was. Especially how Ottawa came in riding a win streak. They were playing 3 games in the space of a week, and they keep that win streak going. They got to 6. They got up to 6 games there. That just really just showed how Ottawa was starting to turn a corner and start to really, find themselves and really just gel as a team and really come together as a team. And I think they made the right call in resting Claire Phillips. Full stop. They didn't even put her on the bench, so she wasn't even the backup. I think that was the right call. That's supposed to be made, and I think well done for making that decision. Well done for making that call in what was a really outstanding game. So, Charge 2, Fleet 1 in a shootout. Stop 8, I believe, Quebec? Yeah, stop 8. Stop 8. Quebec City, January 11, and there were 2 Takeover Tour games on that day. Yeah, Quebec was the later one. Oh, was it? Yeah, so this is stop 8. Okay. It's just we've had the double headers. It's just confused me what number the game is. So we need to bear in mind for next season if we do have another situation like that next season. So it was organised at Victoire. Let's face it, if you're gonna have a Quebec table tour, it's gonna be Montreal every time, won't it? Yeah. Just like how if Hamilton had been given a team, then it probably would have been the second every time. So, yep, so there you go. Yep, makes sense. Makes sense. So, it was one of those 1-0 results I do not like in hockey. I don't like them. It's Victoire 1, Goldeneye 0. The DoorDash Takeover Tour returns to Quebec City, where hometown hero Anne Desbienne hosts her third career PHL shutout, with Nicole Gosling's first career PHL goal proves to be the difference in the win. I just did not like that goal. There's a lot of things I didn't like. Well, okay, take the floor, my boy. Take the floor. The first thing I didn't like was that goal. The fact it was a deflection of a goal-eyed player. That is just a goal you hate to see. And I felt Harris Mashmeyer was actually playing really well. I felt both netminders were playing really well in this game. So I kind of like if it was going to be one of those 1-0 results, it probably was going to be on the back of a 0-0 regulation result, and then we just have to basically go to OT or a shootout. That's how I thought it was going. So that just was a real hard goal to give up. The next thing I didn't like was Abby Rock's hit on Abby Marine. Yeah, I thought that was a dirty call. That was a dirty call. I love the way you're saying dirty. Well, come on, how would you say dirty? Dirty! No, but I thought that was a dirty call. Someone's like to change your tone there when you're saying the word dirty. Anyway, I thought it was a dirty call, and I felt that there should have been more further disciplinary action on Rock after that, because we all know, right, we all know, it was breakers level, automatic suspension. Automatic suspension. We know. Okay. Yeah, but then, during the power play, Aberdeen takes a penalty and negates the 5-minute advantage. And that's a little bit I hated. It's like, come on, Vancouver, this is your excuse to power. Go for it. This is your golden opportunity to get back in the game. Yeah. This is your ticket to get the equaliser. Let's make it a 2-1 result in Ottawa shootout, not a 1-0 result in regulation. This is your ticket back in the game. They just did it magic. Wow. I was like, oh my god. Yeah. Anybody would be thinking you were rooting for the Golden Eyes this one, my boy. Well, it's when his team on paper had high expectations, yeah, and they're not meeting them. No, they're not meeting them. No, it just, as you've been saying, George, throughout the season, Vancouver's mistakes were more obvious to spot than Seattle's, and you've got bad eyes. I know. You've got bad eyes. I know. This, yeah. For me, it kind of felt like a really tight, close contest game. So the people there, I'll give you the numbers now. Because we had a bit of a drop. We did. We did. So because last year, Quebec sold out. This year, we had a drop. Only 14,624 attended that game on January 11th. That's a drop compared to last year. Because last year, it was the full 18.5. It was the full 18.5 last year, all went there. This year was a drop. What was that? What's the excuse? Because really for Quebec, you should be building on momentum, because we are going to have the World Championships next year with France. Yeah! With Team France, yeah! Yeah, because also we know that France has won promotion to the top tier for 2027, so we know France are definitely going to be there, so they'll be glad to see the French speakers and the Francophone roll around Quebec. We'll see what happens. So Quebec really should be building momentum, especially how you're getting a lot of real good women's hockey coming right in the next few years. Yeah. So, and they really do want a team. They really do want a team. Chaos! Now we know Hamilton's going to be joining the league and they're literally next door to Tiro. Do you think a team in Quebec would work being next door to Montreal? I honestly don't know, because obviously, I know it didn't work in the NHL. It didn't work in the NHL with the Nordics and Canadians being literally next door together. So I don't know. I don't know. It could. It could, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think Quebec could maybe be a good potential expansion team one day, but I don't think right now it's going to be the case. It might be something way down the line, like further down the line. So, I don't know. But I am intrigued to see how well Quebec's going to do as a hockey market going forward, because obviously, they've got the World Championships coming in next year. So you just mentioned next year's going to be the World Championships going to be Quebec, and that for me was kind of the type of thing. Ooh, maybe I'm being too harsh on Quebec. You were. All right, you were. Well, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I just kind of felt this game, it was a tightly close sport game. Both teams were really in it all. It should not have been, especially as people talk about how the Victoire got that game-winning goal. It should not have been like that. I mean, great for Nicole Gosley to get her first career goal in the PWHL. Brilliant for her. And seeing as it was on a Takeover Tour game, she's not going to get that one in a hurry. Good for her, but at the same time, that's not how you want the game to end. That's not. I mean, if that was the Frost, who got a 1-0 win over against Veteran, would we be happy about that? I wouldn't. Because I would thought we had really dispute at the point. Deflections is never a great way for a goal to be scored. No! It's never a good way for a goal to be scored. But what do you do? Seriously, what do you do? At the end of the day, what do you do? Agreed. Yeah, literally, what do you do? No, so it's gonna be a tough pill to go on as a squad. They're gonna look back and think, because they've actually were playing quite well. As I said, both net miners, particularly Evans McMahon, played quite well that game. It easily could have been a 0-0 regulation result, and we go to OT shootout. That has happened. Because the Sirens controversial where the sexes happened as a result of that. Yep. It was 0-0 after regulation, and the Sirens won it in overtime, but set to sport, no, it should not have been because it was offside, but of course, you can't really challenge offside in the PHL. Can't challenge any of the PHL anymore, but we're just saying that was how the start, that was quite controversial at the time. Yeah, it's just careful. There's so many opportunities for both teams to really try to put a stamp on this game, but neither really. Even when the Big 12 got that goal, it just kind of felt that neither side really had that much oomph in them, and it's really just a tight, close sport game. And I kind of felt we were gonna have it overtime. The way the game was going on, I kind of felt eventually it's gonna go in OT. Yeah. Because I felt Vancouver really were trying to put the pressure on the Victoire, but Desbienne just kept making these grade A saves, and we know how hard it is to get one past Desbienne. When she's on top form, it is a struggle to get anything past her. So, but it was just it was tough to watch. It was a tough game to watch, especially if you're a Garnish fan. You know how important those points could have been. So it just, you really feel for that game. You really do. Because imagine if they were able to get that to OT and prevent the Big 12 getting the full 3 points. They would have looked at that and thought that's a small victory in a way, because Big 12 are a World Cup contender. You to maybe in a technical game to push them to OTE. That alone would have been seen as like a small victory. Horror one. Okay, fine. A horror victory, but a victory nonetheless. But I just felt the Garnish. You had every opportunity in this game to at least get the tying goal. Yeah, then take it from there. And it has been quite a lot of times when we've watched games and think, well, you know what? We won't mind it going to OT. Yeah, because at least that way we can then try and get something rather than nothing. Yeah. Yeah, quite a lot of Frost games we've watched over the past 3 seasons, we have looked at sometimes and thought, maybe it's probably better to extend it OT, then that way we can get at least something out of it rather than nothing of it, because I feel like the worst card loss you can suffer in this league is a regulation loss, because you know full well you've got 0 points to add to your bank, and to your account, and given how tight this league is, given how super competitive this league is, you want to make sure you've got every opportunity to collect as many points as you can possible throughout the season. Yeah. So regulation is kind of the worst loss you can take in this league. Yeah. So it's basically 1-0 loss. Very frustrating. But can I just give a positive for the Big 12? Yeah? Yeah? Go ahead. Yeah. So then, the positive I had for the Big 12, and yes, it was a bizarre goal, a deflection goal, whatever you want to call it, but the fact that it came from somebody who wasn't seen as the Big 12's top guns, yeah, is brilliant. Because what have we been saying in these past few seasons? The Big 12 lack depth scoring, yeah, depth scoring, and that is what did the Big 12 in season 1 and season 2 in the World Cup. They did not have this depth scoring. All of a sudden, Nicole goes out of nowhere, gets the goal. Somebody who was a rookie, by the way, and wasn't she one of the winners? I think she was for rookie of the year. Yeah, I think she was. So she had a star rookie season. It's just no one ever gonna beat how you into that award, were they? No. So that was to see the big. So it's like the big one's like, look, we can get secondary scoring. We can do it. See if our big guns also expect we can get from elsewhere. So that'd be kind of the low positive I've got for this one. That, but just really terrific, nice. Really well. Yeah. Of course, we had no preference in this game, but. I'll just come out and say it does kind of give the impression that we were rooting for the goal nice in that game. We weren't. We didn't really we don't. When it comes to watching the rest of the league, we don't really have a preference as to who wins unless it gets to playoffs. Playoffs is the only time that you will see us if we're watching different teams. That's the only time we're going to have a preference. You saw that obviously in the World Cup finals because we picked Ottawa over Montreal in the finals. It was nothing against the Big 12. We were not being sore losers. Now, we basically just about, well, us as you two's pick going into the season. Yeah, we had faith in Ottawa, you did not. Yeah, and we kind of felt, would it be great if give it for a team like Ottawa, that passionate fan base, given what Connor Cloud's gone through, given how they've got a lot of good firepower on this one, like Eddie Clark and Brianne Denner, Ware Fitz and all that. We felt Ottawa would be great for Ottawa. Because Montreal, do you feel has an opportunity to win the cup in the future? Yeah. Yeah. You look at the Big 12, you see as a team that could definitely have an opportunity to win the World Cup, like how we can. Yeah. But Ottawa had more opportunities if they get to the finals. Yeah. So it was nothing against the Big 12. It's just we kind of were more drawn to Ottawa, especially how the Chargers gave a real good run from money last year. So the playoffs is the only time you will see us make an interest in which side. Rest of the time we're just watching it because we just want to watch as many PWHL actions we can throughout the regular season. But no, so it was a really well tightly fought game. Quebec got a really good match, a really tightly fought contest, which kind of felt like a playoff game, really, to be honest. Yeah. But it was Big 12-1, Goal 9-0 in Quebec.
So we have it. So we're now halfway there. Okay, 8 down, 8 more still to go, and thankfully there's no more double headers to deal with. So that's good. That is good. The next part covers stops 9 through 12, which of course includes those 2 games in Denver, and one of those, of course, we were there. So there might be a very special VIP guest on the next episode. I'm saying nothing. I'm saying nothing. I'm neither confirming or denying that there's going to be a special VIP with the Purple Trio on the next part. I'm saying nothing. I'm not saying nothing. I'm small to secrecy. Okay. But until next time, take care. Don't forget to